Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Quorum is present for City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority members.
Any person wishing to address the City Council or the other agencies on today's agenda other than the public hearing may do so at this time.
Good afternoon. My name is Mose Tyler. I live in North Inglewood on Hargrave Street, and I wanted to bring an issue that I've been living there since 1973, and I bought a motorhome in about 1984.
Sir, which item is this on?
Beg your pardon?
Which item is this on the agenda?
Oh, it's not on the agenda.
Okay, so then you have to talk at the end.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem, sir. With that, we'll close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payment of the bills.
Madam Clerk.
City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority members. Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Item 2 and H2.
Staff report recommending additional funding for the City of Englewood Homebuyers Assistant Program.
Okay,
For city council.
before we move, I wanted to ask a question. I was thinking about the 3-year wait list period. It tends to turn the lottery into a guarantee because we don't have that many applicants. So I just wanted to get council's feeling on that for establishing a 3-year wait period.
What are you recommending?
I'm recommending that probably go 18 months.
Well, but I'm for the 3 years, as Councilman Morales said last time. The process that it took for the 46 applicants to qualify, and the funding may dry up between the 18 months. That we want to make sure that those that are on the list are not foregone, and that they've worked hard to be on the list. And so I still support Councilman Morales' position of the 3 years. I take.
So yeah, go ahead, comment.
And for me, the way I see it is, there's a few folks that after the meeting, and it's a lot of people, they go, oh wow, I forgot, or this, or when's this going to happen again? And 18 months for me seems more reasonable as opposed to 3 years. So I know a few of the residents of my district, and even residents outside of my district, that contacted me that I know were kind of like, wow, 3 years seems like eternity for some folks. But I think 18 months kind of gives it a quick turnaround. And those that are selected, they're going to work hard to make sure they find a home, meet all the qualifications of that. But I think 18 months to me is a reasonable period of time.
And to answer your concerns, I'm recommending that we go ahead and use the whole 3.75 for the existing list. But what I'm saying is, once that's exhausted, which should be within 18 months, then we should have a new lottery, because there are people that didn't know. It's just 3 years seems like a long time. So that I'm not anyway suggesting we don't use the 3.75 million.
I understood that was your position.
Yeah,
It was just the time restraints that the list would remain active. And you're going from the proposed 3 years that's on the agenda that the council approved last week to now say 18 months.
Well, we actually proposed, but we did not approve. We proposed.
No, we voted for it.
Well, it's
Well,
on.
regardless.
Okay, we proposed. And so, anyway, my position is this, that we spend the whole 3.75 on the existing list.
I agree.
And I feel that that's a definitely generous proposal to do. But the reality is that 3 years is so long, and there are other people that, didn't know or waiting. But if we exhaust 3.75 and then we still have the list going for additional years, that just doesn't seem fair.
And I disagree.
Okay.
That's my
All right,
position.
all right. Anyway, I move to use the 3.75 on the current list.
Second.
Okay. And wait a minute, I'm changing, I'm making a motion that we authorize the expenditure of 3.75
City
Okay.
Council item number 1.
until the program is reimbursed by the Redevelopment Housing Bond Fund after approval of the Department of Finance. That's one. So I move item 1.
And that was
Second.
seconded.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
Franklin.
Dodson.
Council members, Dodson,
That's just
Aye.
one, City Council.
Only one.
One is saying that
I want to make sure for City Council, item 1 is authorize the expenditure of 3.75 until the Homebuyer Assistance Program is reimbursed by the Redevelopment Fund Housing Bond. Is that item 1, City Council?
and you're changing it from 3 years to 18.
No.
Oh, that's
No,
housing.
no, it's here. So, City Council, move item 1.
Second.
are the motion, and who's second?
That's,
Thank you. Council members, Dodson,
Aye.
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
aye. And now on to the housing section. So I want to modify item 1 to approve the amendment to the IHA Homebuyer Assistance Program guidelines. Well, the program guidelines, who's there somebody here from housing? Okay, so which guideline are we modifying?
There's a specific section which I can look up for you, which refers to the 3-year wait list, and that is the only portion that would be modified down to 18 months.
Okay, so are you saying that it's in the Homebuyer Assistance Program guidelines?
It was written into the guidelines to be approved by this committee
But is that from the Housing Authority, is that our,
from the Housing Authority.
well, no, then I don't want to modify it then. Okay. If that's, it's supposed to be a 3-year wait list, then we're not going to modify it.
It's what staff put into the document. It can be changed.
Okay, so I thank you, Agenda. Then I am asking that item 1 be modified to be for 18 months or until the 3.75 is expended on eligible persons on the list.
Second.
Comment.
Yes.
So you're now saying that if the 3.75 is exhausted before the 18 months, the list then dies?
Yes.
Clarity.
And 3.75 million to spend in an 18-month period is exceedingly generous for a homebuyers program. Okay, so that's my motion.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Housing Authority members, Dodson,
Aye.
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 Then I move housing number 2.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Housing Authority members, Dodson,
Aye.
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 Aye. And just to be clear, that doesn't preclude us when those, that time period or the funds are used to do another homebuyers program. All right, A1,
No comments from the city attorney's office.
CM1,
No comments from the city manager's office.
CC1, CT1,
Thank you, Mayor. Would just like to give a little bit of report regarding bond securities, and these are the bonds at July the 31st, 2019. For the city of Englewood is $66,854,138.50. Successor agency $21,740.36. The total $66,875,878.86. and the investments from the earnings is $58,693.82. And I had bonds of $2 million called, and I reinvested those. And also would like to give a little economic news regarding the Treasury yield curve rates. The U.S. stock markets yesterday suffered the worst trading day of the year, with the Dow losing 767 points and NASDAQ's dropping 278 points amid escalating trade tensions and failing China currency value. Treasury yield curves sank to the lowest level since Trump's 2016 presidential inauguration. And also the 10-year bond yield inverted even more at 32 basis points in one season. And basically the rates are still the same, the rates are dropping. And I purchased one bond yesterday at 218, a federal home loan bond, a 5-year non-call for 1 year. But in all likelihood, that bond will be called. And also would like to mention regarding the U.S.-China war has deepened, and China retaliated against Trump's tariff with devaluing the currency value and halting U.S. agricultural products, sending market sell-offs Monday. Trump's last week vowed to impose a 10% tariff on some $300 billion of U.S. imports of Chinese goods. That's not going to go well. The Federal Reserve also cut interest rate by 25 basis points, ranging now from 2.0 to 2.25. Also, job layoffs hit 190,410 in the first quarter of 2019. And also, some good news, I did attend the Inglewood Taste on Saturday, and it was fabulous. I think it had to be a greater attendance than the very last one. And I visit every single booth, and also bought a lot of really nice products there. Some of the vendors had really nice products there. So I certainly want to congratulate the staff. The police chief was well manned. Emery Ward, he was on guard with his staff, so everything looked really well. I want to congratulate also Sabrina Barnes also, and I want to thank all of the vendors who continue to come and support it. And I even bumped into one of my cousins who live beyond Rancho Cucamonga, and she said this is the second time that she has attended, so they are coming from all over. Everybody was having a great time, and you could hardly get through the crowd because as I was walking through, particularly entertainment section, you could hardly get through there. But it was really well done, and everybody was having such a good time. So congratulations to the city of Englewood for another very successful event. That concludes my comments and my remarks.
Thank you. Inglewood Successor Agency has been called to order, and we've already done CSA 1 and H1, so there's no need to do that again. Housing Authority, the same issue. 2, the joint consent calendar is 2 and H2. So, Madam Clerk, we're going to have to do the same thing that we did, or, okay, so it's done. And the only thing I want to make clear is that it's 18 months or until the 3,750,000 is extinguished on eligible people on this list. And so what we're saying is that that list will terminate in 18 months or when the 3.750 million is issued to buyers. So, all right. So that way, if it's used within a year, then the list will go for 18 months if we add more funds. All right, thank you.
Now, can I clarify something? So if we don't use the 3.75 in the 18 months, we can go longer than 18
You can go
months?
further on the list, but
Can we go further with time, though?
yes, you can, because look, it's 3.75 or 18 months. So if it's extinguished in a year, then the list will go for another 6 months. And if no more money is added, then there'll be a new lottery.
So as long as there's money,
Yes,
There's a list.
as long as this is 3.75, yes.
I
That-
move that City Council item number 2, which is the expenditure of the 3.75.
Now, according to the Madam Clerk, we've already voted that it was done when we
Oh,
did
yes.
it earlier. All right, and I'm just clarifying that this goes until the 3.75 million is extinguished.
But we have to
Alright.
do housing number 4, Mayor.
Have different numbers.
No? Oh,
Okay.
I see. Stand corrected.
Okay,
We're done.
so then it's official. We're done. During the Housing Authority, appointments to boards and commissions. I, Mayor James Buds, nominate Jacques Lejeune to the Arts Commission.
I concur.
Madam Clerk?
Aye.
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 Aye. Public comments. Now, sir, you can come back. We await your comments.
Thank you, and I apologize again for my haste.
No. Hey, it's all good.
My name is Mose Tyler, and I live in North Englewood. I moved there in 1973, and approximately 1982, 84, I purchased a motorhome, and I've had it ever since. 2010, my wife was killed in a car accident, and since then, I have not used it as much. Now, I have gotten some notifications about it being parked, and I had been told that as long as I kept it covered, that would be no problem. And so I began to keep it covered. And earlier part of this year, I had some problems with my prosthesis. I'm a service-connected veteran, and I had some issues. And the wind tore the cover off, and it was uncovered. I was issued a citation for it, and I received a notice yesterday saying that I was going to be fined if I didn't remove it or build an 8-foot wall. And so I just want to get some clarification on that issue.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I do know. For decades, there have been complaints about people parking motorhomes either on the street or in their driveways, and the issue it causes for the ambiance of neighborhoods. And so I think that the city was extraordinarily generous, and whoever it was that told you could just cover it. But the reality is it's supposed to be hidden from view, not parked where it's visible, and that's my understanding. So it isn't singling you out. This was a really big problem in the city, and that's why these regulations were promulgated.
So I have to get rid of it.
I don't know if you have to get rid of it, but you have to store it someplace so it's not in the neighborhood.
And I guess I might be out of order, but then you go through that area, through that neighborhood, there's,
Tell on them, and we'll go. But you're on TV now, so your neighbors, they saw you, so.
but I don't have an issue with it because even on my street alone, there's at least.
All you
3
got to do
different-
is call it in, and there they go.
Oh, I'll have to pray about that one.
Oh, pray over that one, all right.
All right, thank you.
All right. Guys, give her a hand. Pull the mics down for her.
Right. Hello, my name is Laverne Penny. I live at 950 West Beach, and we're having problems with the owner of the building. And he was putting everybody out for a while until you guys came up with the 5% that's as far as he could go up on the rent increase. Well, he hired several construction workers, and 3 different groups came in and redid the apartments, except for 3 of us didn't get our apartments done because you came up with the 5%, so that saved us. So now, because he had to pay so much into getting this apartment done and hiring all these construction people, he wants us to pay for water, which we don't have a meter for each apartment. He's billing us by how many individuals are living in each apartment. And he wants us to pay for the trash, which he has a contract with the city to take the trash. And he wants us to pay for sewage, which we don't have nothing to do with sewage. I guess the city takes care of that.
No, ma'am. No. The owner of the property, if they don't, they pay that as a bill.
And then they want us to pay for pesticide. I guess the guy coming spraying on the outside of the building.
Can't do that. Okay, ma'am, here's what's going to happen. The city attorney's going to assign somebody to talk to you and get your landlord's name and phone number, and someone from the city will call him and talk about the reasonableness of these charges, and hopefully there'll be a resolution.
One more thing,
Go ahead.
please.
We definitely need to see your rental agreement and what your rental agreement says. Councilman Franklin makes an excellent point to see if these things are covered in your rental agreement.
Okay, I have to find because I've been there 15 years. He just bought the apartment building about 4 months ago.
I see. Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to talk to him. So if you give the sergeant at arms your name, the address of the building, the name of the landlord, and his phone number, someone will be in contact with him.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
You're very welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, you don't have to sit back there. Why don't you sit in the front row in Mr. Agee's seat?
I'll reach out to you right after the meeting, Ms.
Oh,
Penny.
that's oh. Oh, that'd be good. All right.
Good afternoon, Mayor, staff, and council. I would just like to say the event Sunday was a wonderful thing. You guys are always, top-notch as far as the council and representing the city. But I would just like to say a big kudos to the workers that had to stay and clean that place up. Monday I came through, and it looked like there was nothing ever happened on that street at all. I'd like to thank Parks and Recreation. I'd love to thank Public Works for you guys that do the grunt work for the city. We are very proud and we appreciate all you do. I am very thankful that your friend, Mr. Emery, is back, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Welcome back, sir. And I say these, thank you for all that y'all do. I'll see you tonight at the National Night Out. And thank you, and everyone have a beautiful and blessed week.
Thank you, Stuart. Yeah, we'll close public comment and the council comments. Councilman Dotson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple of things. I don't know if you remember, but I'm sure she did when we gave course to started doing the tennis program. And this past weekend, invited to Riviera Country Club, the tennis program there, and she took 12 kids from her program, ages 5 to 12, Riviera Country Club, for a play date. Invited tennis clubs from Southern California to participate and take lessons from the tennis pros. So we had kids from our program invited there. They were able to take lessons from pros, and these are professional pros. Also, I think that we will be known as the sports capital of the United States of America, because we are really, we have 2 football teams. Hopefully we're going to have a basketball team. Now we got tennis. It don't get no better than that. This city at one time was known for their tennis. Foresight of the mayor getting our tennis courts redone, and we got a great person running our program, so we'll be on the map for tennis as well. And mark on your calendar the date of September the 7th. I'll be having a shredding event. It will be at the ICOP Center on the corner of 7th Avenue in Manchester from 9 to 12. And please get there early because every time can't close up because there's cars all the way down the street. So it's from 9 to 12. Get there early. Get your papers taken care of, and come in and have some coffee and donuts with us. With that, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next week. The date, September the 7th.
Saturday.
Saturday, September 7th.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Thanks, Mayor. You know, I would just want to echo what folks said, Stuart Bailey and our city treasurer, about this past Sunday's Taste of Inglewood or Inglewood Experience. I've heard it two different ways, but suffice to say, it was a great event. The standing room only crowd, amazing. The performers, you know, knocked it out of the park. It was just good to see so many folks, not only from Inglewood, but the surrounding communities come out and celebrate with us all the things that we're doing here in the city of Inglewood. I want to thank all our staff. To put something like that together is a lot of work, and I want to give a special shout out to David Rice. This is his puppy. This is, you know, what he dreamed of, and he's worked closely with staff to make it a reality and to make it a success. There was so many darn food trucks and vendors. I mean, how you made it to all of them, Wanda? Whoa, you must have been busy because, you know, I tried.
Or hungry.
Yeah, but it was just an excellent event. Those of you that did not get a chance, I know he's going to do it again next year, so please put it on your calendar. Talk about putting things on your calendar. My annual chili cook-off District 2 picnic is coming up. You know, it's always a fun event. I enjoy the folks that come out and they decorate their chili cook-off booth, and that's on Saturday, September the 7th at North Park from noon to 4. But get there, you know, early so you can sample the chili. Some folks are even, you know, they're creative. They take the chili and go get the hot dogs from 7-Eleven that 7-Eleven donates the quarter pounders, not the small ones, quarter pounders, and people end up making themselves some really good looking chili dogs, you know. But it's a fun event, and I look forward to seeing all of you out there. This is open to everybody in the city of Inglewood. It's, you know, I call it the District 2 picnic because it's, you know, at North Park. That's my only small park in my district, but it's for everyone in the city of Inglewood. All are welcome to come and have a good time. With that, I also remind folks, the following week is the Hispanic Heritage event, which this year it will not be at Crozier. It's going to be right here next to City Hall. The car show is going to be up and down Regent Street, so we're going to have a lot more cars, classic cars, and a lot more booths and entertainment. Again, it'll be another successful City of Inglewood event. And with that being said, have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you tonight at National Night Out. It starts at 5:30 right here on Gravella, right behind City Hall. You owe it to yourself. If you're watching on TV, come out here and have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Franklin, District 4.
Yes, and following up with Councilman Badia's comments and a resident speaking regarding National Night Out, there will be a number of booths available, including a DJ with music, arts and crafts, face painting, a variety of games for the kids. We're putting a light out on crime, and so we're asking for people to please come and fellowship, neighbor to neighbor, friend to friend, family to family, to please come and participate. I also would be remiss if I didn't recognize the Public Works Department on their outstanding work. I'm proud to announce we finally have finished the repaving and striping of Imperial Highway from Van Ness on the east to Prairie on the west, which is our city boundaries. We're making great progress on the development of the AM/PM mini market gas station that will be at Imperial Highway and Yukon. And then also Norm's Restaurant is moving forward. That's on the southeast corner of Crenshaw and Imperial Highway. And then the other requests I do have for the departments that are responsible for handling the islands of the boulevards, if you could please revisit those on Imperial Highway and on Crenshaw. There seems to be some weeds growing up into the cracks of the divider, so that'd be appreciated if that was taken care of. Other than that, everyone be safe, and thank you for coming. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Just a little recap. You know, in February of 2011, we were down to our last $11 million in the bank, and we had an $18 million structural deficit. And somewhere around September, October, we wouldn't have made payroll. In June of 2019, we have 60. As of June of 2019, we have $60 million in unrestricted reserves. Property values have increased in the city over 135% since the end of 2012. Unemployment has dropped from over 17% in 2011 to 4.7% now, one of the lowest unemployment rates in the state of California. More Inglewood residents are working now than any time in the last 40 years. In January 2015, we notified the world that we were going to pursue an NFL team. And by June of 2018, we had 2 professional football teams and the interest of 1 NBA team. But here's what's happened along with that. We have brought back the sense of community and enrichment for our children. The Taste of Englewood was an excellent event. I think there were over 5,000 people, and everyone had a good time without an incident. It was just beautiful. Our tennis program that Councilman Dodson has been a fearless champion of, and I just have to thank Doris. We have her and 2 other Olympic tennis people that have volunteered their time to resurrect that program, and we have invested in the park so that we could have a place for children to learn tennis and to be enriched. And so I want to thank Doris and Councilman Dodson. The Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles, this group has 35,000 Girl Scouts they're responsible for in not only Los Angeles but Orange County. And they moved their headquarters from Marina del Rey to Englewood, across from the old Englewood car wash site. And we're very proud of that. We opened in a $27 million senior center in January of 2018. And if you haven't seen it, you should. It's extraordinarily beautiful. And it was the first major structure that the city built since the really bad days. And then the LA Philharmonic is moving their youth orchestra program right across from the parking structure, another enrichment opportunity for Inglewood children. And so I say that to say that it hasn't just been sports and entertainment, it's been enrichment, it's been fiscal austerity that has brought us to where we are. And we are moving towards my goal that one day the city of Los Angeles will be referred to as a suburb of the city of Englewood. And with that, we're adjourned.
There you go, man.